Hello and welcome back to the channel. Last week we got the gas locker compartment sorted and insulated. We got the panel cut out with the hinges on to get the gas bottle down to the unit. We got some of the end panels done. We got all the worktop and we cut it down, sanded it down, got all that to fit in. The only thing I've not shown is I sealed the ends over because I'm trying to get that wood to dry. If you remember, it was very wet. It's about halfway there, so I've got about another week till I can start varnishing it. So this week I'm going to be finishing putting the brackets on here for the worktop. There's two of them to go here. I'm going to finish sanding this down to make sure this can open and close with the worktop on. Then I'm going to get all of this carpeted in this little area in here. I'm going to get all of this wood here sanded down, all of this part as well sanded. I think we're going to get these strips put on as well, get them sanded, and then I'm going to oil all of this. So oil this, carpet this, just while I'm waiting for the weather to warm up a little bit, and then I'm going to be focusing on this bit. I've had a little play already, if I can find the ruler. So if I put a panel obviously on the back of this panel coming down, it's going to actually perfectly, I don't know how I managed to do it, but it will perfectly go down to that corner. So I'm going to have one panel all the way across here, sorry about the mess, all the way across there, and up the back of here, so it'll be like a big L shape panel. Holes cut out for access for the bolts and around the seat belt pre-tensioner bits. And then I'm going to put a little panel here just to fill the gap up, so it'll come across here, and then a panel coming all the way up here, and then from there I can then start making the cavity inside for the chairs and whatnot to go under, and then get the units, well, get the tops on here with the hinges. So that's that. I don't think we're going to have all of that in this episode, so I'm planning, that's the sort of route I'm taking. So get this done, get this oiled, get this done, and then I might mess around in this locker to get the fridge all mounted in, because I've got to make a base and something for the worktop to hinge on, and I've got to make a little end panel here, and then I can get the worktop on and then figure out and work on all this bit here. So yeah, let's get on with it. Right, worktop in place. I've put a jack on here just to weight this side down, just because it's a little bit wonky, because it's got an extra bit of metal there and not that side, so I want it lifted up a little bit there. So jack there to get it all to sit right on these corners here, and now I've got the heater pipe shoved through the hole. See that there? And then what I'm going to do now is, I've got these brackets, I'm going to mark where these go and get them drilled, pot riveted on. So I've got that bracket on there and down there. I'm just going to cut a little bit off the bottom of this here, just because it's rubbing really bad on this bit. So I'm going to bring up a few mil and just cut the bottom off, and I'm going to cut the angle for here and get these bits put on. So these are the two bed support strips. I've just ran a 45 angle on them, or just over a 45, whatever this maxed out at. So I've got them two cut, and now I'm going to basically take a tiny little slither off just to level the ends up, sand them down and fit these in. Okay, so I've took that off and cut the bottom of it. It still casts a little bit, but it's absolutely fine. I've got these bits here, they're going on here, angled that end, cut this end, sanded all down, holes pre-drilled, and now I'm going to measure up and put them on here. I'm just going to sand all this back first, seal the foot pinch from getting in and out, So I'm gonna sand all of these off, or clean them all off, glue the battens on, sand it down a little bit again, and then I'm going to start oiling. So I'm going to treat all of this, and basically all the wood that's in here, just to try and prevent it from getting so many marks on it. And then I think tomorrow I'm going to get the carpet on here and start messing with that. It's currently raining now, so I can't really cut any more wood. It was pain just getting that done. So yeah, I'll put you on time lapse, sanding all this and sticking all this wood on. So I should really learn my lessons. So I thought I'll use some brass screws, so you know it looks nice. That one didn't even tighten up and just snap the head clean off. And that one just ripped the head completely out. So now I've got to try and get that one out. I somehow try and work a screw around the outside of that and then replace them while the glue's going off. Don't use brass screws. I even drilled them first. Right, why? Strips are on with the better screws. Everything is sanded. I'm just going to give it a good clean out now, a good wipe down, and then I'll start doing some oil then. It's going to really bring all the wood out then. So I replaced this Alpine seal just before the last video because it was leaking. Brand new, genuine seals, and it's leaking. Like, same place. Why is it? Any idea, people? Brand new, genuine seal, leaking. There's no condensation in here. It's not like it's condensating and beading up. It's literally running around the back of the seal. Like, why? You reckon it needs a bit of time maybe just to help seal up? This is like the death of Land Rover now, isn't it? The old Land Rovers is the parts. Just because they're genuine don't mean they're original quality, does it? So I've got everything wiped down with a microfiber, got all the dust out of it all. I sanded this with 240 grit and then went over it with a Scotch pad. Just a grey one, a fine one, just to get around all of these and in the radiuses and whatnot. I'm using some of this Baratine, I'm guessing, Danish oil from Toolstation. I'll put a link below. I'm going to put it on with an old microfiber and because it's just to be ruined afterwards, and a takeaway pot. We'll see how it is. I've done a little test piece and it seemed okay. Apparently it's trusted by the professionals. And they're celebrating over 140 years. That is a big party, isn't it? 140 years. Anyway, let's get some of this oil on. That sounds bad. Let's put some of this on. So first piece going on. Initially, I don't know if you're going to see much of a difference. Oh yes, you will. So it brings everything out. because it's so much better than painting. I hate it when people build stuff like this with nice birch ply and then they get the emulsion out and then paint it a colour and then you can't see the wood anymore. Sacrilege. I've just put the heater on to help it. Like, you can just go over all the hinges, everything. And it's not fussy. And then once the whole camper interior is built and done, I'm going to go all over this again. The camera shows it a lot lighter. Hopefully that shows a bit of a contrast. So it's really brought some of the grain out. So I'll set you on time lapse. Let me just show you this bit here. See, it really makes it pop. Right, so I'll put you on time lapse and I'll get all this done. I think I'll start on the inside, get all the inside of it done. I won't do inside of that compartment because I've still got a load of work to do. I'll get all this bit inside done. And then I'll get all of this panel done and then I shall get this side. So I'm going to be sitting on here, so. So there's all the first coat. You can see that there's a few little blotches, like light patches and whatnot. All of that will be gone with the second coat once all the build's been finished, but look how much it pops all the ply, what would you call it, ply layers out. It really brings it all out. It's going to look really nice with the worktop on there. Yeah, so that's going to be it for today. I'm going to do a bit more tomorrow, hopefully, if it's not raining. I'm going to start doing that bit there, but at least now this is all protected a little bit from getting in and out with boots and whatnot. But yeah, I'm going to focus on that bit. So it's now the following day, wet and miserable outside. So I don't think I'll be cutting the wood for here. So I'm going to get a bit of insulation put on here, and then all of that carpeting around there. I'll probably do some of this side as well, probably insulate up here again, foam it and carpet this bit, and then see what the weather's doing, because once I've done that I think it's going to be time to start doing this then. I have got the rubber floor mat that I need to cut all in shape. It's going to be a pain because it goes in there and around here. I've got that currently rolled out to try and flatten out a bit, so I suppose I could always do that as well. So I'll crack on with doing this. So I've got all of this foam now. I actually lip it up a little bit higher. I don't want to put it onto this surface because the worktop's butting up against that one, but if you cover over this little gap that's in this seam, it makes it a lot better for sound insulating, because a lot of the noise actually comes from the joins. So that's covered over enough. Brackets are on. I'm going to foil tape over the top of here just to help stop any moisture coming through into the back of the worktop. And then I've got some 4-way stretch carpet. This is off Amazon. I'll put a link in the description that I'm going to be putting over it all from here. But I'm probably going to lip it over and all the way down to about here, roughly. And then obviously all the way round here and into there, just to neaten it all up. Carpeted. All went kind of well, really. I ended up cutting it in 2 pieces here and doing that piece and this piece separate. There's a bit of fiddle coming up around in the back of here. You can't really see very well on the camera, but yeah, it just neatens it up. And then once them panels are in the bottom as a cover, that's really again going to neaten it up. So the worktop's drying out quite nicely now. I reckon by Wednesday, Thursday we should be getting ready to lacquer it. Now the other side's done, I'm going to focus on this one. I'm going to get all of this foamed all the way up and the stuff shoved in like you saw me do before, and carpet up into that panel there. I'm going to try and leave that painted, I think, and get this bit done. But I've got all the wires here, so I would have liked the panel there, and I've actually went through the shed and I found one off an old vehicle I had years ago. It was a C-Reg 110. If anyone knows what colour this is, let me know. It shows a lot darker on here. It's quite nice actually. But anyway, that's going to fit in here hopefully. Hopefully the wood's going to be fine. I haven't even test fitted it yet. Yeah, that should fit fine in there, look. And what's nice is if someone's already cut a hole in there, so I might put a cigarette charger plug in here, so if you want to pump your tyres up, say, you can just run the lead out. So that's going to fit in there quite nicely. Took all the wires in, so that can be carpeted separate. Or to be honest, I might paint that and then carpet the rest and have that painted. I think that might look neater. Maybe the brown again, brown, black, leave it blue, I'm not sure. But yeah, so that's going to fit in there quite neatly. So I'm going to tackle this bit first. I'm going to clean it all out. I'm going to seal all the holes up and get a rubber grommet in here for this wiring, because it was a bit of a rush last minute to get it on the road, so everything just got thrown all in. So I'm going to get a grommet for there, try and bungle these holes up and get that drilled out, because that should be a bolt for the cover. Get that screw out there, where someone's used it as an earth, because that's for the cover as well. Sound deaden, and then roughly fit the panel in, and then I'm going to get the foam up to that panel. I'm not going to put any foam on this panel, because if I do, that panel's not going to fit right. So I'm going to leave that for now. I'm just going to sound deaden and probably carpet a strip like an L shape. I'll leave this in here because that's going to be a pain to clean. Just a word of warning with this stuff. Yes, it looks very nice, but when there's all bits stuck in it and you try and run a hoover nozzle on it and go like this, it ruins it. So you've got to be so careful trying to clean it. No one talks about it, but yeah, you try. If you accidentally run like a hoover nozzle on it and rub it, it will fluff it all up and it will just look rubbish. So just something to note with this stuff. Don't try and have it as like a. It's just to tart something up. It's not a. It doesn't wear very well. That's why I've gone away from doing it on the roof this time, and the sides. So anyway, rambling on, I'm going to have a play with this. So I didn't bore you with it, but I got all of that all sound deadened and sealed up. I've just put a little bit of foam around this. You've seen me all do this before, so I didn't see the point of showing you multiple times. I'm just going to now put some insulation through here, and then wrap the foam all the way up to about there somewhere. Just nearly touching that bit, and then fall it all. That's already got some foam in it. I'll leave this uncovered, and yeah, so shall I leave uncovered? I might actually wrap some foam around it. I think, see if I can wrap some like that, because if you're lying in bed you don't want to be hitting that, do you? So yeah, I'll wrap some foam around that, foam it all, and then get that carpet on. So like I said, I'm going to leave that colour and then all the way carpet, and carpet on the back of this. That I'll paint that, put a cigarette lighter port in there. This will be carpeted around the window. That's an absolute pain. I've been trying to think of a better way to do this because it didn't look fantastic last time, so I want to try and think of something better to do this. I didn't know how to maybe get some thin ply and cut it to shape so it like comes half up the seal, and then cover it in a fabric, and then somehow get that panel on. This is, I think, going to be wood, and this is all going to be clad in. So I'm not 100% decided what's going on here, whether it's going to be like a fabric on this, and maybe a fabric on here, and then maybe like some sort of a splashback panel. I've also seen some people do tile as well, but I'm not 100% sure on that yet. There's going to be a big fold down cooker there, but yeah, so I'm going to get him on time and let's get a bit of foam put on, get this carpeted. Took a while, but that's all carpeted now. It's quite neat. Any bits where there's a bit of glue, I can just use some white spirits just to clean it off. Yeah, time consuming, but really neatens all the work up. Other than that being painted, cigarette lighter put on. That's all this bottom section all done. I think the next bit's going to be, well, the only thing I can do now is all of this, so I think I'm going to muck all this out and clean it all out and get a game plan. So I didn't record it, but I've got all this matting cut. It's actually for horse stables, so it's lined on the back and then dotted on the top surface, but I prefer the lined finish. Just measured it all up, cut it with a knife and threw it in. You can see it's marked the wood in a few places, but this is why the whole lot's going to get sanded back again and oiled once they're finished. So this will just help stop tracking so much mud in. So I'm going to just muck it all out now, and then I'm going to get the worktop final sanded, ready for, I think, Wednesday or Thursday. I'm going to start varnishing it, I think, but it's definitely coming together now. So I've just gave the worktop its final sand at 240 grit, and then I just took some of the green off the edge and then scotch padded it. And yeah, it's definitely drying out. I think I might start painting it Wednesday, I think, because it's going to take like 3 coats roughly, and it's drying out really well. I'm going to leave these bits of saw marks in it as well, because I quite like them, so it's in here quite bad. Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing it when it's all varnished. It's now time to varnish all of the wood now for the worktop. I've gone for Deluxe Trade Diamond Glaze Varnish Clear Gloss. We'll see how it goes on. I'm going to try roller and brush. I'm currently doing this in the spare room, so hopefully I'll get it done quick before the wife comes home. I'm going to leave you on a time lapse. This is going to look really good, I think. Hopefully it brings some of the red out. You can see it a bit here in the picture. But it's all dry now. It's, what's the date today? Thursday. So hopefully it should be done by Saturday to get this put on. one coat in, it's really brought all the grain out now. It really doesn't do it justice, the shimmer it's got to it. You can see it quite well there, really. Yeah, that's the first coat. It's still quite a bit dull. You can't see it compared to the shiny plastic. But it's going to have probably about 3 or 4 coats. So I'm going to leave it a few hours now and then come back and get another coat on. Second coat on. So this is after 4 coats of lacquer. You can see it's come up really well. There's a really nice effect in the actual grain along here. Yeah, it's come out really well. It's not a really mad shine. It's a water base, so obviously it's never going to be as good as normal. Let me try and flip it. And this is with the oil on the back side. So it's really, if you want it a lot more red, you're best to use an oil compared to a varnish. So the only thing I need to change now before fitting this is I'm going to cut that out there, so I can run wiring up behind this heater pipe, and it's easier to fit. I can just slide the wood in. So I was sitting there the other day and I thought actually that'd be a good idea, so I can run the wire in. So I'm going to get that cut and get it sitting in and get it screwed in. Sorry it's been a little bit late. She's up there. Sorry it's been a little bit late on this. I bought another project, well, another vehicle. So I might show you that financial decision now. So here is my latest financial mistake. It is a 2008 Range Rover Autobiography. I paid £2,000 because I think the owner just had enough of it. It used to come in at work, so we know a lot of the history for it, and it's had quite a lot of all the common stuff done. The turbos have not been done yet, so that's probably what's going to let this car down. It's not rotten. Where do I go? The owner sold it to me quite cheap because the inlet manifolds are split, or at least one of them are. So I have that to do. The bodywork's not the best. It's been at a farm for part of its life. and just been used as a runaround vehicle. It's got brand new Bridgestone tyres all round. It's about 900 quid's worth. This has literally just been bought as a beater with a heater, or a posh heater, should I say. So this is literally as I've got it. All I've done is driven it home. So you can see, like, these are all loose. So repair all these. I'm just going to clean it all, see what I've got, and when it's a nicer day, I'll go over and polish it all, I think. So interior wise, as you can see, it's quite filthy. The driver's seat's probably the worst of it all. The seat base, quite common on them. The seat base is quite bad. I think I'll just put a seat cover on it. It all works. I think by one of these many settings. I think it's something to do with this one here. No, it's to do with the lumbar support, but it's fine. This was actually the first one I ever drove. First Range Rover I ever driven. I put front struts to it work. So it's quite nice actually. The side steps are, the deployable side steps are C's. That's good, because when you get out the car, being lanky, they try and chop the bottom of your ankle off. So that's good. I'm really looking forward to cleaning all this. It's actually, other than like the driver's seat, it's got a couple of little scratches into the leather here from where they dragged the books on it and whatnot, and a bit of wear on there, but a lot of this I reckon will clean out of it. And a little bit of wear there, look. But I think it's done 160,000, I think. But for £2,000, can you really argue? Range Rover life. Heated and cooled rear seats and front seats, climate control, heated seat, heated steering wheel. Rear seats look like they've barely ever been used, except for probably dogs. No rot really, a little bit of surface corrosion here, you can see there, but not really much at all. I'm going to clean all of this up, probably have the steps off, have all the sills off, and treat everything underneath, because it's either the subframe rots and writes the car off, the sills rot and write the car off when the two-post ramp foot goes through the sill, or the turbos. So if I can at least get two of them sorted, I only have one thing to worry about, seeming as this is preventable, and that's probably not. Like, it's a little nick in the bumper there, look. I can't wait to wash it and see how much worse it is. Bit of condensation in the lamp. It's got a tint in the back window that I'm not sure if it's original, but it's pretty bad. It's got, like, can you see the lines in it? But again, it's a beater with a posh heater. Full size spare in the back. Probably had many engine parts in the back, probably, with the grease on there. So look at the size of these for the older Range Rovers. Look at them. Look at them on a 405, the little dwindly little things. And it's all, you can't just go like that. You have to press buttons and wait for them to come down and press them in a certain... Shut. Not press a button and stand there and wait for that one to fold up and... No, fixed tow bar. Mud flaps that I think are going to go because they just look awful on them. Again, like not bad. Oh, it's had a little bit of wear though, but it's just mud. It was actually from a charity who owned it for running kids around with it in, like foster kids, I think. But yeah, it's gonna really clean up quite well. So here it is, the 3.6 TDV8 with the engine cover missing. I'll talk about in a minute. Brand new battery. It's got a little oil leak, but that's coming from the manifold seals, so that's going to be changed. Bit of rodent damage, so probably going to have wiring gremlins, or already had them, should I say. But this is a problem down here. If you can see, probably see the oil. I did amazing bodge work there. Looks like the whole patch has actually fallen off now. Yep, the patch has fallen off, the epoxy putty, but it got me home. It got me 20 miles home, so it did well. The bosses at work, his turbo's blue. Well, that one I think went. No, this one went. So his is dead. So he's just had new manifolds, so I'm going to rob them. Silicon hoses here and here, so I'm going to rob them. It's got a bit of a coolant, a really slow coolant leak. It's parted at an angle, but it's normally up here somewhere, or probably not. It's probably lost more, but that's probably going to be down in that V with the coolant bridge, or the thermostat house, I'm going to call it, or the oil cooler. So that's all going to be looked at and sorted, and all done. So other than that, it's not horrendous. So the oil leak's going to be fixed, and the coolant leak's going to be fixed. The manifold leak's going to be fixed. Front struts have been done. New battery. The heater works. It has lights. So, and it has a tow bar to tow the trailer around with ease. That's a Puma 90 chassis for my friend's 90. It's 200 TDI 90. We're going to do a video on that. I'm going to jet wash it off for him. He's got some brackets to cut off, but I'll show him more detail when we get around to it. But like, these gearbox mounts are going to go. Them engine mounts are going to go. These are the original 3 holes here for the old gearbox mounts for the 200 TDI, and you can just see they just weld the brackets over the top, so you just got to cut these off and bolt yours to it. It's pretty straightforward. Just what you can weld your old mounts on there and your ones on here, but it's pretty not much to do. Bolt on bracket for your fuel tank, and I think there's some tabs here that need to go on, but cheap way to do it instead of buying a galv one. Look, it's literally like brand new. They're for off test vehicles. They're literally, like, you could say they're off nicked ones, but it's literally never ever had a serial number stamped on there. It's literally perfect. Still got welding, the original welding spatter up here. So, or is it here? It is. Either or, it's literally got nothing. So it's not been ground off. So that's a good thing. Don't buy nicked stuff. Just nip it in the bud. So anyway, ignore that. I'm going to clean it. So I've just got it all jet washed. It took me ages. I don't think it's ever been cleaned underneath, ever. I've got all underneath the bonnet, all in the gaps, all inside the doors. I had the wheels locked to lock inside. Tried to get all it out the arches. It's all rammed up in the back of the bumper. So the mud flaps are going to come off anyway to clean. But I think what I'm going to do is clean all the exterior, polish it up, make it look nice, whatever. Get it running right, get all that looking nice, get the interior nice. And then if it behaves itself, for a week or two, I'm going to take all the arch liners out, and clean all behind them and repair all of these. If you can look here, look. So it's a bit corroded. It's not rotten, it's just a bit corroded. So treat all of that. It's just about that time to treat now and look after. I hate Hammerite, but it lasts longer than the other paint, so I might treat that all properly and Hammerite that, and it's black, and then spray some all underneath on everything, front subframe, rear subframe, sills, inside the arches with the trims out. But other than that, it's not too bad really. Other than the damage we already saw, like, it's really quite straight. It's not too bad. So, well, that's it all washed now. That's not too shabby. Really not too bad. The worst was getting in that grill. yeah, so near enough the same damage as we saw before. It'd be different when it dries. I think I'm mainly going to be looking for a new bonnet because all the damage on it there, here, there and there, all across that edge. There. It's just all over. So if I can find a cheap one with the logos on, I think I might. Little dent there. Probably keep that up from behind and push most of that out with a hot air gun. But other than that, take that stupid logo off. Leave the side steps broken. Looks like it's worth more than £2 now, doesn't it? So I managed to get it all stripped over one Sunday afternoon. That's all the parts that came off of it. Quite a pain to do actually, definitely down the driver's side at the back. This is it going back together with the new manifolds, all the H-frame back in. Just coming together throughout after work. Had the injectors resealed. I ended up with having to jump start it with the series as the battery went flat. Now listen to the knocking. So that turned out to be number 7 injector had decided to fail on me. So as you can hear now, it's a lot healthier after changing that injector. So that was a very fun experience. But luckily I had a spare vehicle I could quickly change the injector over on. But now it's running really well. I spent a good day and a half up to 2 days cleaning it all inside. It was absolutely filthy. But yeah, it's running okay now. I've got about a couple of hours on it now running, and I'm going to run it now for the rest of the week and see what develops. Worktops is placed in for now. It's looking quite good, I think. I'm just trying to get the placement right between this gap here and the gap where the door is. That's just roughly just resting in for now. It's really hard to sit in here because this still has the release agent, so that's slippy, and this has been oiled, so this is slippy. So you start sitting there and then you end up out the door. I'm going to have to move all this car around later to try and get it on the flat. But the main goal today is to get this worktop mounted on, and then hopefully try and get this video out then midweek. So yeah, it's nice to see it like this now, which looks like it's actually coming together. We'll talk about that in a minute. So right, I'm going to get it all on now. Unfortunately my camera stand is broken, so you're either going to fall over and I'll delete the footage, or I'll somehow try and show you mounting all this in. Okay then, so we've got a slight issue here. Just the problem with working with this wood when it was wet, when it was nice and flat, is how it's dried. It's actually bowed. Bowed in the middle. That's obviously exaggerated, but it's bowed. I'll see if I can get a better angle. So if you look down here, you see this gap? So that's lifting the other end up. So it's actually bowed up on the edges. And so I'll try and decide what to do. What I'm tempted to do. So this wood is going to keep moving, I imagine. I imagine as the longer it stays in here, it's going to keep moving around a little bit. So what I might do is start screwing here, start screwing there. I literally just try and find the balance point, the midway between. It's probably not the right way to do it. Probably the right thing would be to fully dry this over a couple of years and then shave. Well, I'll probably run this through a planer, a proper big planer, to get it flat. That would be the proper way. Or you could potentially just shave this bit of wood in the arc after again a couple of years. So what I'm going to do, I don't think people are going to notice it. So what I'm going to do, except probably toddlers will like this tool, but anyway, I'm going to put a screw this side and one in that side and slowly draw them down equally. Just try and get it as even as possible between the two, so I kind of get the best of both. This can be then a calculated design. Is it shadow gap? I don't know what. It's design feature. It's to let the edge of the wood dry. So I'm just going to do that. That's just going to be the easiest. Because if I just bolt this down to make it look nicer on this end, that end's going to stick up in the air, and then there's going to be like a weird, like, step where that other wood goes in. So you see, you can't see from here. So I'm just going to screw it in now. Stop rambling on and get it all fixed in. Worktop's now completely fastened. It really doesn't move now at all. The only thing that does is these have a little bit of movement. So if they ever cause a bit of a problem, I might try and get some really small, maybe angle brackets. You know, maybe the 90s out of Meccano sets are quite small, aren't they? I could maybe use one of them in the back. So in the middle with some small screws, just help stop it move a little bit, but we'll see. It might make a noise with the body flexing, but we'll see. So that's all of that done, bar all of that malarkey that we're not going to go into. This is a dangerous question. What's your opinion? Colour of fabric? Probably not that one. Oh my god, getting old. So we've got that green. They're a little bit lighter in person. Obviously the blue, the purple and the yellow. It's going to go with the brass and this darker cedar and the lighter birch, that will darken slightly with the other coating on. So if I wipe that off there as well. So these are the colours that are going to go with. So if I do an individual. So we're not a massive fan of the green. It just doesn't, I just don't think it's going to look right with the whole colour. So we're not going really for the green. Well, this is our opinion, we want yours. So yellow seems to be a very popular opinion on people doing these sort of birch ply builds. So maybe the yellow or the mustardy colour. But then I feel it might be too many yellowy colours in with it all. We're mainly tied between the blue and the purple. Got sawdust on. This is a bit lighter than what it looks like on the camera. But the blue does kind of go with the brown. I'll give it that. And with it all, we're kind of edging for the purple because that's quite a nice vivid contrast between it all with the black as well, and with the brown, kind of on the Cadbury's theme. Let's think of it. So we're kind of going off that. I'll show you the side. So roughly the sort of colours it's going to be. We're thinking maybe the purple won't be too bad, but let's see what people think. And so this is a few days after I've actually got it all back on the road and spent nearly 2 days cleaning it. You can actually see just about in there, can you see the crack in the bottom corner going across? That's why you have to strip everything off, because Land Rover wanted to put a rocker cover, an air intake and the holes for the injectors to go through. Thank you, Land Rover. So we've done both, and the coolant bridge that is over here. Excuse the mess. Getting it out completely had to snap the bottom of it off, so that's all done. Leak off pipe done. That's a future project. So that's going to be it for this video, I think. Hopefully next week I'm going to start getting all the wood cut Hopefully it's not raining like this. Get all this bit in there done, so at least I'm going to have the bed space done. I'll just get that other unit one, like the other worktop on. So thank you for watching, and hopefully the content starts coming a bit quicker now.